Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo World Report at Night for Friday, September 16th, 2016. I'm your host, Alexander Kulafi. Today joined for a round of what we've been playing by the infallible, famous, infamous, one Donald Terrio.
Yeah, there's not like there's any JRPGs that are out right now, so I've got some other things to worry about.
Donald finally left his cave to come talk to us. And then we're also joined by Alaska's very own Zachary Miller. Hello, Zach.
Hello, Alex. I don't know what we're going to talk about either if there are no JRPGs to talk about.
This is kind of the year of JRPGs.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. It's a couple of them got pushed back, but it's still the year of JRPGs. Although it feels like every year the 3DS is progressively going on, every subsequent year is becoming the year of JRPGs.
I worry that when we're all trying to make NWR's top 10 categories, there's going to be this enormous overlap between best RPG and just best game.
It'll be the same list because those are the only games that came out.
I don't know, man. There's a game I know you have that I don't think is an RPG, but I'm pretty sure it'll be up there.
But it has RPG elements. We'll talk about it very soon. It's kind of a JRPG in its own way.
Really, what isn't a JRPG at this point?
Yeah. So the first thing we're going to talk about, just very quickly, because this is Pokemon World Report. I feel like it's necessary to talk about the newest unveil. There were some new Pokemon unveils, or there were new Pokemon unveils promised, but all that happened was there was the Korokoro stuff, where like a few new Pokemon were revealed, but nothing too crazy, except new Ultra Beasts got revealed. Those things are not Pokemon, I guarantee it. And then that's UB02 Absorption, which is the muscle-bound dude. And then there's Ultra Beast 02 Beauty.
Yeah, and one per version. So that's going to be... So seems like an interesting way to do the beasts. But really, I mean, we were all hyped up for this big reveal, and it turns out, no, I think they threw out a 30-second trailer just to shut everybody up. Like 12 hours after the fact.
Although I'm glad I actually finally saw that footage because I wanted some context to what the Ultra Beasts are. I didn't get it, but I wanted it. Matthew Kelly asks, hey, NWR, do you think that Lily, Lucamine, and Gladion could possibly transform into those three Ultra Beasts in Pokemon Sun and Moon? I think I saw a lot of people think of that. I'm not invested in the story so much yet. It's the same thing I've been saying a couple weeks ago. I wish I knew who these characters were more than I do, which I mean, like, I should be informed because we're doing this. But on the other hand, the story of a Pokemon game doesn't matter to me until we see it applied in-game. So until then, all we're left with that actually matters is the structure of the game, the Pokemon themselves, and the features surrounding it. Now, are the Ultra Beasts potentially humans given a Pokemon or animalistic form? Like that makes a lot of sense because they don't look like Pokemon. They look weird, but I just don't care yet. Which is not me trying to like sort of put down your opinion, Matt. It's just more like it's impossible to care about the characters in a Pokemon game until I actually see how the characters work in the game. I don't know. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, we know so little about them, and unless they do a giant info dump right before the middle of next month, because after that it'll be last batten down the hatches until the games actually come out. Honestly, the more I think the most important thing that they showed was in the Korokoro League, which they haven't given English names for yet, but the evolution for Rockruff, which is going to differ based on versions, and they've implied that the starters share a secret with Rockruff. So we might have dual starters and dual final evolutions for the starters this time.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah, and also that the Sun one gets a rock type priority move. That sound you heard Monday night was every Talonflame on the planet weeping.
Mm. So we have that's all we have to say. It's just that there's our little Pokemon update.
I've gone into media blackout on this game.
You should.
I don't know what any of that means that you just said.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Good. Here's what I might actually just unfollow Cerebi and just sort of like, and then just sort of
for your own health.
Happen. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have? Just That Lego Guy asks, I'm planning on getting a new 3DS, so what games should I get? Let's go around and let's all recommend exactly 3 3DS games. Now, the rules are you can't recommend the same 3 games, any one of us. So you'll get 9 different game recommendations, Just That Lego Guy. I will go first. How about we could also go in a circle? So, like, I do one, you do one, he does one 3 times?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm going to start off with Super Mario 3D Land. I think it's better than Super Mario 3D World.
Because it is.
I think people are split 50-50 on that, but I think history will look back on Super Mario 3D Land more favorably. It's just a way tighter level design, but it's a brilliant game, and I think it's the first really great original game on 3DS. Zach.
Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. On 3DS, not Wii U.
Nice. Donald?
Fire Emblem Awakening.
That's a great one. I'll go next. I will recommend Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what, Zach? If you can get your Shantae, I don't want to hear any of that horse shit.
Well, Zach.
At least you can play Shantae with a good control scheme.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, great, Zach. What was your second one?
Oh, shit. Yeah, the second one. Picross 3DS 2.
You know what? I respect that. A lot. Donald?
Well, while we're going with more recent stuff, how about the 2016 Game of the Year, Metroid Prime Federation Force?
Hey, look at that. Now I don't have to say it.
Do you think that is one of the required 3DS games? I'm totally fine with you if it is. I just want to know, what do you think?
It is for multiplayer.
Yeah, and if you're getting a new 3DS, it comes down to either that or Monster Hunter for things that really take advantage of it.
Nice.
I cannot imagine playing this game on an old 3DS.
No.
I could do the obvious and recommend Animal Crossing, but for my last one, I will recommend the Pokemon games. I can't recommend those on 3DS. Pokemon X and Y are great for someone who hasn't played Pokemon in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone who plays every Pokemon game, I just don't think they hold up. My last one will be Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Nice.
How about you, Zachary?
I think my number 3 would be. Shit, I just blanked on it. Donald, go. I got to think about it now.
Okay, well, I'm probably in the minority on this on the site, but Link Between Worlds.
Good pick. Mine is Smash.
Yeah.
I think the Smash, just personally, I think the 3DS Smash is better because there's a lot more single-player stuff.
Although, if we're being fair, single-player was never the strong suit of this new game.
That's true, but if you like Smash enough to play the single-player stuff, there's more of it. Let's say that. The Wii U game is, buy them both.
Right. Cool. All right, so there's 9 recommendations. There are also a bunch of obvious ones. Ocarina of Time 3D is great. You got Animal Crossing
7.
Mario Kart 7, Fire Emblem, Awakening you already said. What else? The Pokemon X and Y are great if you've been lapsed from Pokemon a long time.
Etrian.
Shin Megami Tensei 4 is awesome. Yeah. I think that gives you enough to start with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Kirby Robo-Boba-Bot, but also Triple Deluxe. They're both phenomenal.
Also, if you've never played a rhythm Heaven game, the new Rhythm Heaven game, is really good for 3DS too.
Yes, it is.
For new players, although it's a little easier. Yoshi's New Island, just kidding, don't buy that game. Okay, yeah, that's our Pokemon stuff. Just that Lego guy. What are your thoughts on Final Fantasy for Super Smash? Personally, I hate the idea because you can add Toad, Tails, Dr. Eggman, and yeah. It's, you know what? It's Nintendo needed.
Hold on. You mean Smash and Final? What is?
Like, are we having the Cloud fight again?
Smash.
I didn't care for Cloud, but some people did. It's arguing about Super Smash characters are pointless because everyone has their own taste for what characters they want in the game. Like,
it's OP. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to actually what we've been playing. I'm going first this week. I'm going to just say very quickly about Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright is Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright, Spirit of Justice, is Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies, but slightly better. But like Dual Destinies, as I stew on the game more, the more I think that it's another kind of disappointing sequel. It's like a bad Phoenix Wright game. It's just a great game by any merit, but it's too easy in the same way Dual Destinies was.
Is it because Apollo Justice is back and he sucks?
Apollo Justice doesn't. I can't say he doesn't suck.
he's actually he's actually nailing what the Nintendo tries to go for with Luigi, as I on US Gamers podcast this week.
What I hate about this game, like the thing that I dislike the most, is that you know how you ever play a Phoenix Wright game and you know how they always have these like weird gimmicky mechanics that like this is the new mechanic where you have to blow into the microphone, or this is the new mechanic when you have to read the emotions, and then like and how they're super shallow. All of them are in this game, and
great.
They have more ones in addition to that. So it's like it's the great Phoenix Wright gameplay you know and love. Not necessarily evolved that much, with all of this shit thrown on top of it that makes it feel like a much more shallow game than it actually is.
Nice.
I gave it an 8, and I think it's worth an 8, like on the merits of its own quality. It still has a great story. It still
looks good.
It looks, the Phoenix Wright games on 3DS are some of the best looking games on that system. It's good if you want a Phoenix Wright game, but I wasn't, as someone who likes Phoenix Wright games and has played a lot of Phoenix Wright games in the last few years, I wasn't too insanely impressed with this one. It's a great game on its own merits. It's not that impressive compared to some of the best in the Phoenix Wright series.
Gotcha.
The next game I have been playing Doom.
Shocking, a Nintendo show talks about Doom.
The fun thing about Nintendo World Report at night is that like this is our show where we can talk about whatever we want. Although for a Nintendo news show, we do have a tendency to talk about whatever we want anyways. This cover is sick. This game is incredible. This is the first game this year that has actually like insanely impressed me that was released in 2016. Here's what Doom is. You ever play one of those PC shooters from like the mid to late 90s? Those ones that like they're super fast paced. They're all arena based. You're jumping all over the place. There's tons of shotguns. There's tons of action. There's tons of monsters.
Unreal Tournament 2 is what you're talking about?
I'm talking about Unreal. I'm talking about Quake. I'm talking about old Doom. I'm talking about old Wolfenstein. Like you guys know the kind of games I'm talking about.
Yeah.
id Software made a game that takes the best parts from all those old shooters, the speed, the fun, the way it just feels to hold a weapon in your hand, the arcadey feeling of that gameplay, the total violence that was associated with the Duke Nukems and the Dooms in their day, and they applied it to a 2016 video game flawlessly. All the stuff that doesn't work in those games anymore, they left behind. All the stuff that does work, they brought into this new game, and then they also have a number of crazy new features that like also makes the game stand impressively on its own merits. For instance, they got this thing called the glory kill system, which is when you damage an enemy enough and it's just about to die, but you don't kill it, it starts to flash orange and blue, and then you press in the R3, and then it does these specialized ultra-violent kill moves on enemies that are specialized. Like if he's near a wall, he'll punch his face and then like smash it against a wall. He'll curb stomp him. He'll basically, if you hit him from above, he'll basically curb stomp him from the sky.
So it's based on like proximity and not enemy type of enemy?
Proximity, location, and enemy. All those things factor in. Because there's a lot of different enemy types. There's boss fights, which is so weird to see in a Western like shooter in 2016. It's refreshing to see a boss fight in a 2016 video game.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, they had a lot of those in the original and later Doom games as well, with stuff like the Cyberdemon and the Spider Demons.
Yeah, it's yeah, and then this game, its story is weirdly great, and then it's a minimalist story that you don't have to pay attention. It's super minimalist.
Not just dude goes to hell and shoots stuff.
They take that story, they do it justice. They give it a little tongue in cheek, but then they also give you a really good reason to care about a guy named the Doom Marine. It's Wolfenstein does the exact same thing, where you don't think you'd care about a Wolfenstein story. It's just like kill Nazis and who gives a shit. And this game is kind of like that: kill demons and who gives a shit. But
that's a game. That Wolfenstein, the new Wolfenstein's one that I've got sitting on my like perpetual download queue on my PS4. Because I got it on a flash sale for like $8 a year ago, but I still haven't played, but I know it's good. And I just got a $50 gift card, Visa gift card for being in a medical study. Doom is at the top of that list.
I'd wait until Doom dropped just a little bit because I got it for $20.
Well, I'm not going to spend $50 on Doom. I've seen it for $20 new.
20, 30
it'll get there again.
Price.
Yeah.
If you see it go 30 or lower, I'd do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, my question.
Yeah,
I do have a question about the game though, because you've seen the classic image, like map design in 1993. It's a Doom level. Secret exits everywhere you go.
Right.
Map design in 2013 is like a corridor. Are the maps closer to classic Doom, or is it more cinematic in that way?
So there's a dozen-ish levels, maybe a couple more. It's at least a dozen, maybe another one or two, like maybe 13, 14, 15. They take that level design and they apply it to a modern game. It's not as open as a Halo game if you play a Halo game, like how everything's sprawling, kind of, and how like there are always 50 directions you can go in at any given time. There are usually multiple directions you can go in at any given. If you play a modern shooter on PS4 and Xbox One, one of the new trends is that shooter levels are getting a little more open. This game's like that. But it's like Doom, where there are secrets literally everywhere. There are multiple ways to go about doing things. And the level design, I wouldn't say it's the exact same as that old style of level design, but it's so dramatically inspired by that form of level design that I wouldn't say no.
So maybe a better comparison would be... even though I hate to bring it up, BioShock Infinite it was a corridor shooter until you got into these big areas with lots of cover. You can go different places and shoot guys from, high up with a sniper rifle. Infinite had a bad combat system, but it had an interesting level design for a shooter.
Right.
Would that be a better comparison? Like it's a corridor shooter until it's not?
Yes. It's a corridor shooter when it makes the most sense for the game to be a corridor shooter. So a lot of the time there are so many demons and you have these ultra powered shotguns and pulse rifles and rocket launchers with 30 ammo that like sometimes it actually is the most fun in the game when you just have a straight corridor and 50 demons and it's just like you need to get from here to there and kill everything you see. Exactly. And the game is super fast and pretty hard. I played on Ultra Violence, which is like the hard difficulty, and that's what I recommend anyone plays on because it has that like classic shooter feel to it. Yes, but some levels are more sprawling and open, like you're talking about, Donald, where there are multiple directions and it feels more like a labyrinth. Like there are 2 or 3 levels where I'm like, okay, they literally tried to make a classic Doom level, but with 2016 map design.
Nice.
The game's it's so smart. The action's so fast and fun. I recommend people see video of it before they buy it. But if you see this game for $20, the campaign's 15 hours long, and it's just nonstop action and super violence from beginning to end. Like it's a beautiful game. It's just beautiful.
Wasn't it co-developed by somebody? Like,
it was made by id. The campaign was totally made by id. I think it was made by a lot of people who really love the old Doom games rather than the original creators.
Yeah.
But the multiplayer was made by a team who made some other multiplayer shooters. They made the Master Chief Collection multiplayer. They worked on the Black Ops 3 multiplayer. They worked on some other Call of Duty multiplayers. They're basically, some salesman told us we need to make a multiplayer mode in our game, but we don't want to make one.
Right.
So here's the team we'll farm out some of the work on.
I would never touch it anyway. I don't have PS Plus.
Don't worry about the multiplayer. They made a passable arena shooter in a multiplayer.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the appeal with Doom multiplayer back in the day was co-op anyway, instead of competitive.
Right. Just wait for the new Quake at that point. Like, if you want like a nice id multiplayer shooter.
I actually haven't touched it in a while, but I was replaying Doom 3 on the PS3 for a while, and that game's got level design problems. It's not it's like there's a good game in there, but I don't think it was made by the best team.
Here's the difference between Doom 3 BFG and Doom 2016. In Doom 3 BFG, it takes about 15 minutes before you kill your first demon.
Yeah, that's true.
Doom 2016, it takes roughly 4 seconds.
Nice.
Like, it's as soon as you start the campaign, it's just you hit the ground running immediately. And one more thing that might be cool if any of you have an affinity for the old Doom games. One of the secrets, there are a lot of collectibles throughout the levels and like secret pathways and like things off the beaten trail that you can find, like character models and yada, 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 yada. The coolest one is that if you do these ultra secret maneuvers in each level, every single of the 12, 13 levels has a classic Doom map.
Oh.
So you unlock it, and then there's this menu that you can that's called Classic Maps, where you can play a classic map from Doom 1 and 2, but with the shooter gameplay of the new Doom. So it's like you have 12, 13, 14 levels of game, and then you have 12, 13, 14 classic Doom maps that you can unlock and play in addition to that.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
If you're a fan of the old Doom games, there is something for every single person. If you read the Doom 3 novel, there's something in here for you.
I really want to replay Doom 64 too. That's hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
Cool.
Oh, and then the last thing I want to talk about is that I bought Dead Rising, the original Dead Rising, on Xbox One because I never played it.
They re-released it? That's bizarre.
They released Dead Rising 2, and Dead Rising Off the Record for the new generations, which I've been waiting for because I never had an Xbox 360, so there was no way for me to play Dead Rising 1. But I've always wanted to play these because I love my zombies. So Dead Rising, I haven't. It's still sealed. I have this sealed. I have Dead Rising 3 sealed. I have Dead Rising 2 coming in a couple weeks. I'm going to buy Dead Rising 2 Off the Record, but I've played none of these games yet. So I'm going to have this complete series with no idea if I'm going to like it or not.
Interesting.
So that's something I'm excited about. You've never played a Dead Rising game?
I've played some of the first one.
Yeah? Did you like it?
I did like the meat of it. I did not like the, resetting the roguelike element. But kind of more the Majora's Mask element.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the gameplay holds up. It's fun to make weapons and kill zombies.
Nice.
Almost a Muso game.
And Donald, you would have no experience with Dead Rising, I'm guessing.
No, although we'll get into what I can do with that later anyway.
Sure. Okay. I guess it's literally your turn, Donald. So tell
Okay.
us.
Yeah. So there's been some games that I've been wanting to play for a long time, but I never really got the opportunity to. But I found a deal this week where I could get an Xbox 360 Slim, the second one they released, for about $60,
Mm.
I needed to upgrade the hard drive on my Wii U anyway, which led to like 3.5 days of downloading, but that's another story for another time. So yeah, I now have an Xbox 360,
Nice.
and going through the store, they actually have a symbol as to which games are backwards compatible. And the reason I didn't go for an Xbox One is because most of the games that I'm either picking up or already have are not backwards compatible.
Mm.
Hmm.
Like because I had access to my roommate's old 360, my roommate's 360 before, and I had things like Nier and Child of Eden that I wanted to play or put more time into, but never did.
Mm.
So at this point, I may as well just make the investment.
And you can get the good version of Super Meat Boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that
I can.
is the good version.
Yeah, although I think I think I've got most of what I'm looking for at this point. I think the only games I really need to pick up are like Rez and Ikaruga, Radiant Silvergun, those kind of games.
Mm.
Uh,
Rez is so
how
good. My
how many
God.
360 games do you have, Donnie?
Well, I had 4 or 5. I bought one with the system because it was basically $10 for the orange box, which is basically my way of finally getting around to playing Half-Life 2 in the episodes.
Mm.
But I had a few games already. I bought Tales of Vesperia and Eternal Sonata because they were $4 last week.
Mm.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and I had a couple of games that I bought already, like Asura's Wrath,
That's
which
a
is only
wonderful
available.
game.
Yeah, and it's only available digitally on 360 for whatever reason.
They never gave that a
So
physical release.
or no, they never gave it a digital release on PS3, or I would have had it by now.
But they only have a digital release on 360.
No, it has a disc, but it's digital physical on 360, but physical only on PS3.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
And I picked up the honestly the main reason I did it was for those Microsoft published JRPGs from like 2007 when they actually cared about Japan.
Blue Dragon.
Blue Dragon got that for like $15, and I got Lost Odyssey for 12.
How many of these
Lost
are you
Odyssey.
gonna play? Donald?
He's got an instant backlog. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to devote some time to once because I joked at the top of the show. There's no JRPGs coming out. No, there's 200-hour games coming out this weekend essentially.
Yeah.
But I figure I'm going to use that for like December, like the sort of drought that I'm expecting this winter until a certain console comes out.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yes, that console that we know nothing about that's coming out in 6 months. Right.
Yeah. That NX of ours. Is it amazing buying an Xbox, like having never had an Xbox system before, and then just spending like $45 and then having literally 50 games?
Yeah, and then I picked up the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection because
That's
you know what,
a wonderful thing. That is
good. That is good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get that for a long time. And
all the games on there that are not called Sonic are really good.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Sonic Boom.
Yeah, so I put some time into that. It gave me an excuse to move the PS3 into my bedroom as well, so I can watch my wrestling in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so lot of that probably, like I said, early in the new year while I wait for my next big console purchase. But the other thing that I have played is I got to the first slime in Dragon Quest VII, which is an hour and a half into the game.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
the time to the first slime is an hour and a half into this JRPG.
Yeah, I mean, typical Dragon Quest game, time to slime is 10, 15, 20 minutes once you get past like the NES era. This one is, I checked my game log. It was an hour and a half.
Good God. I'm not getting this. It's not happening.
Aren't you glad
So,
you
yeah.
waited 5 years eagerly for this beautiful video game, Don?
I don't know how eagerly I waited for it, but good lord.
I'm just stating a fact here. I haven't got, because I mean, if I'm just seeing the first line, clearly this game's going to take a while. But I mean, they cut this thing down from a 100-hour JRPG that probably broke most of the people that localized it.
That's probably true. I think I'll continue to wait for Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, because at least that one, the time to slime is like 5 minutes.
And there's new content. I mean, technically, Dragon Quest VII Remake is all new content.
Yeah, especially for me, because I've never seen Dragon Quest VII for PS1 for anything less than $80. So,
do you like the hour and a half you watched so far?
it got a little like. It got a little fetch questy there near the end, but you know it's something small, and I did have a lot of fun like loading up on stuff because there was quite a few hidden items in the wild to go find.
Oh.
This little treasure hunt to start the game, but now that I'm actually I'm out of the first town, I've got it quick saved. So once we're done here, I'll probably get back into it and see if I can actually move the plot forward a little bit.
Nice.
Very cool. Nice.
And to Nintendo's credit, they have a guide out on their website now. I think it's on the Dragon Quest VII subsite. That is basically how to get through to the job system, which is sort of the big hurdle in the game.
Hmm.
Yes, I believe it's 30 hours in.
They say 20.
Okay, well,
that's what I would say too if I was Nintendo, and it was 30 hours.
I'm halfway through 7th Dragon at 20 hours.
Yeah.
So you've killed 5 dragons?
Probably.
Actually, more like 500 by the time where you are.
Yeah. Trying to beat that dragon that's actually two people fused together. Yeah, that fight sucks.
Nice. Okay, and then do you have anything else, Donald?
The only other thing I'll briefly mention is I reviewed this week's Nindy Summer Jam game, Nite Love Devolution. Yes, it's a palindrome. Deal with it. Fun game. It's nice to see somebody on the indie scene doing a 16-bit game for once, but Zach, among others, cannot play it because it is not lefty friendly in the least.
Boo. Maybe they'll patch it, but probably not.
Yeah, it's a one-man job. Like it was a one-man game, so I
clearly not a lefty.
Yeah, clearly not, or the controls would be mirrored. But it's a fun game. Like the last boss was really cheap. I didn't end up beating it, but I don't think I'm ever going to because 3 fights in a row with absolutely no healing. I thought we got past that with Shovel Knight.
Yeah, even Shovel Knight has healing.
Yeah, but it's pretty fun up until that last point, and if you're better at it than I clearly am, then you'll probably get a kick out of it.
It looks really pretty. I mean, it animates great. I like the art direction.
Yeah, and it's also it's on 3DS and Wii U. If you buy one, you get $5 off the other one.
That's pretty cool.
We have some more stuff in the chat. Play Lost Odyssey, Suave551 says.
Like I said, I got that for $12, so that is on the list.
Matthew Kelly says, "Hey NWR, which Ultra Beast do you like the best so far? 1, 2 Beauty, or 2 Absorption, or do you like to see the other Ultra Beasts and they get revealed instead?" There are probably going to be about 5 Ultra Beasts total. Beauty looks weird and like an alien, so I kind of like that. Absorption is the cool one, so I choose Absorption. Zach is on a blackout. What do you think, Donald?
So far, I'm still waiting for one to actually be like, okay, that looks cool. I just worry that they're going to run out of humans to turn into these things.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got? We got Zach.
Hi.
That's what we got. Zach, you have like 8 to 10 minutes because I'm turning into a sleepy boy.
Okay, that's fine. I put a pin in Federation Force. Got through the campaign mostly with people, with a lot of randos, which was not always great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to sound super racist right now, but if you see a Japanese guy in your party, leave. He's either got a horrible lag or he doesn't know how to play. That is almost 100% of my encounters with Japanese players in my parties. But aside from people who can't play the game, it's really, really good, and it's absolutely in my top 5 of the year. The ending gets a little dumb. The art style begins to break down towards the end of the game as things get more serious and dire. But the final boss is a hoot. I won't say who it is on air. And then you unlock
Samus?
Huh?
Is it Samus?
Maybe.
Is it Metroid?
No, actually,
crawl?
Metroids don't feature heavily in this game. They're only in one mission. But you have to have them in a Metroid game, don't you? Even when it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really fun multiplayer game. It's best if you're playing with friends on Skype, so that you can know what you're doing and you can communicate roles to people, because roles do become more important the farther you get. You can play all the missions single player, but a lot of them are really frustratingly lengthy in single player, so I don't recommend it. I also played a bunch of Blast Ball, which I don't really like.
Yeah, it's like bad Rocket League, right?
Yeah, and the ball's physics don't really do what you think they'll do all the time. Maybe taking into account shots from 6 players from around the globe is having an effect on the game. But Federation Force is great, and then there's a hard mode, which I haven't really played yet, but I love it. I'm going to keep playing it online to get more medals and paint jobs that I don't use. And then I got Picross 3D 2. It came out. I beat it today, and there's a bunch of post-game content after you beat it. There's more puzzles after you beat it, which I was very happy with. It's Picross 3D, the original, is probably my favorite DS game, period.
You're not alone.
Hell yeah. If you'll recall, that was in the Touch Generations line, and it was $20. This game is $30. But I feel like there are more puzzles, and you can do each puzzle has an easy, medium, and hard setting. Some of the hard puzzles are friggin' impossible. There's a new thing where some rows or columns will have 2 numbers, one orange and one blue, and so you have to figure out 2 different ways to stamp the blocks correctly. And it took me a while to wrap my head around it, but I eventually did. I still don't know what flagging is, or what it's useful for.
Flagging is, I think the difference is, I played the demo, is the orange and blue pens, you actually have to mark every single block to beat the level.
That's true.
But for the flagging, I think that's like basically how other Picross games are, which is like you can mark it, but you don't need to.
Right. Flagging,
like
what it appears to do is kind of say, well, there might be a blue block in this row. So it's kind of like you're taking that row out of your equation in your head.
Right.
But then you eventually have to go back and unflag it and, really color the blocks for real. So I haven't really wrapped my head around flagging yet, what it's useful for. But great game. Great game. I have a little problem with the interface. It's way too easy to accidentally press the button for orange or the button for blue when you're trying to press the button for the other one.
Right.
And then you get a mark, an X. And it's also kind of hard to see the numbers sometimes because the the numbers are orange and blue, and when a row is done, it turns orange. So you have to take a real close look at whether or not that orange row is actually done or not.
Right.
That kind of bugs me, but wonderful game. There's amiibo support. I think I have to get a Toad amiibo now because I have all of them but Toad that support the game, and those puzzles are devilishly hard. So Picross 3D 2, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful game. If you like Picross or Picross 3D, you should absolutely get it. It's expensive, but it's worth it.
Here's my question. I have never owned Picross 3D.
Wow.
And which is like, it's weird. It's one of those,
probably hard to find
those
now.
things where you always had the intention of playing something. You're like, yeah, I'll play that, but then you just literally never get around to it.
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of games like that.
I never owned Picross 3D, but like that $30 price tag on Picross 3D 2 was like, I don't know.
I absolutely understand. I'd almost think you should play Picross 3D first and see if you like it.
So you think I should? Let's Amazon it while you explain that to me.
Than normal Picross.
I know how Picross 3D works, and it's fun, which is why, like, I played both demos. I just never owned the game.
Yeah, I don't know if you like the demos.
Should I spend $30 on this new game? $19, Picross 3D on DS.
Yeah, buy that shit.
Buy it? Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, or you can. I think they put the original Picross 3D out on the Wii U in Europe.
That'll help me.
The day they announced it. So, I would say at this point, since obviously Nintendo, their VC strategy is incredibly random, that you maybe pick that up, but don't be surprised if you see it show up on a download list in a couple of months for $10.
Yeah, didn't we get Smooth Moves this week or last week?
Yeah, this week, and I got to say, Smooth Moves, that is the greatest tutorials ever.
I've not played it. I'm still thinking about grabbing Hunters on the Wii U eShop, but I thought that game would not really work too well on the Wii U because that top screen being blown up to the size of my TV, a DS game.
I still have. I've never actually played a DS game on the Wii U, so I am not sure how the screen options work, but I'm pretty sure there's a way you can confine it to the gamepad.
Oh, there is, but then you're holding the gamepad like this.
Oh, Tate mode, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a show, right, boys?
Yeah.
Cool. We had a solid 40-something minutes. That's our show, patreon.com/NWR. Support the site, and then also get a lot of great content that's exclusive to the Patreon and is early for the Patreon. We put up a lot of stuff a day or two early. You can find a lot of great content on NintendoWorldReport.com. My Phoenix Wright review. There's a review of Picross 3D 2 up there, I think. There's Donald's new review of Noi 2 Lover Revolution, something.
Brian reviewed Dragon Quest 7.
Right, Brian reviewed Dragon Quest 7. Wow, lots of great Nintendo content. We also got Zachary Miller on Twitter, at ZMiller1902. Donald at Donald Mick, me at Kulafi A. And play Doom. Nintendo fans, play Doom. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Later. Bye.